Jason Earnhardt at Levels for Guitar, and I did receive 25 likes for the first video of this series, How to Play Lead Guitar. In that first video, we learned how to perform Swing 8 rhythm over the top of Form 1 A minor pentatonic, and we performed all that over a blues backing track at the end of that first video. For this video, we're going to apply the triplet on top of the Swing 8 rhythm, and we're going to perform all that using Form 1 A minor pentatonic over that same blues backing track. So if you don't understand any of this content, make sure that you review that first video, because I'm not going to repeat myself too much. So this should be easy, providing that you've mastered the first video. All right, well, get out your guitar and let's get to work. All right, nothing builds technique like the use of the metronome. So I'm going to set the metronome for 60 beats per minute, and we're going to perform Swing 8 rhythm over the top of Form 1 A minor pentatonic. To demonstrate, I'm going to work with you for 4 repetitions. Now, if this is too fast, you can always slow me down on the media player. But we got to get that swing into our fingertips and into our brains. So I'll give a 4 count, and we'll swing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Long, short, 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 long. Trip, let trip, let trip, let trip. Now we can talk triplets and how to incorporate those on top of our Swing 8 rhythm. And you already learned from the first video that the swing comes from the triplet. And to get a triplet, you include 3 equidistant sounds within the count. Here's the count. Trip, ball, let, trip, ball, let, trip, ball, let, trip. So you could clearly hear how there were 3 equidistant sounds within that count. Now to get the swing, all you have to do is leave out that middle voice. Trip, let, trip, let, trip, let, trip. So all you have to do to perform the triplet is leave the middle voice in the count. And if you want the swing, leave out that middle voice. Trip, let, trip, ball, let, trip, ball, let. So there, the count remained constant. The only difference between the 2 sounds that you heard was on one of those with the swing, I left out that middle voice, and to get the triplet, I included the middle voice. And we're going to do that process as we play Form 1 A minor pentatonic. Trip, let, triple, let, trip, let, trip, let, trip, let, trip, let, triple, let, triple, let, trip, let, trip. And there I incorporated the Swing 8 rhythm on top of the triplet. Now that's your goal for the segment, but for practice, we're going to work on the open string G, so we don't have to worry so much about the fretting hand. So I'm going to fire up this metronome at 60 beats per minute, and I want you to start off by practicing the swing, and you're going to use the phrase trip, let trip, let trip, let trip, and then when we get to the triplet, you'll use triple, let, triple, let, triple, let, triple, let, just as you did in the previous segment. So let's start off with swing. Trip, let, 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 trip. And you should already have that down from the first video. For the triplet, it's going to sound like this. Triple, let, triple, let, triple, let, triple, let. So you're trying to fit 3 equidistant sounds within that click. Once you've mastered that, you can work on combining the 2. In this example, I'm going to play 2 swings followed by 2 triplets. Trip, let, triple, let, triple, let, triple, let, trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let. Just like that. Ultimately, you want to be able to do this at will. So in this example, I'm just going to incorporate swings and triplets whenever I want. Trip, let trip, let trip, let trip, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let triple, let trip, let triple, let trip, let triple, let trip, let trip. And that's your goal, is to be able to include those without skipping a beat. Once you've mastered counting on the open string, you can apply it to your Form 1 A minor pentatonic scale. And here's how that's going to look and sound when you've reached your goal. I'm going to play 2 swings followed by 2 triplets. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, and so on. Now, at some point, you'll be able to do this randomly, completely at will, just like this. Trip, let trip, let trip, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, let triple, let trip, let trip. So that was completely random. I didn't plan any of that. So that's your goal, is to be able to play along with that click and insert the triplet or the swing anywhere you want. Once again, it's a matter whether you want to include or not include that middle voice of the triplet. Okay, let's put away that boring metronome. We're going to get out some real music, and we're going to use the same backing track that we used in the first video, and that's blues backing track in A. And to start off with, we're going to use our voice instead of putting this under the fingertips. I think this is a good way to practice. We're just taking what we did with the metronome and applying it to the backing track. So let me get this going. You can use one of 3 methods. We can use the trip, let triple, let trip, let triple, let, or you can use the long, short, triple, let, long, short, triple, let, and there we just use the long and the short for the swing. Or for those of you who have studied music before, if you're more comfortable counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and you can use the counting method. It doesn't really matter to me which one you use. I just want you to be able to insert that swing and that triplet at will. Okay, so here's how I would do this with my voice. Let's get the backing track going. Okay, trip, let triple, let triple, let trip, let trip, let triple, let triple, let long, short, short, triple, let long, short, triple, let long, short, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and So any of those methods, whichever works best for you, you can employ. All right, we're going to put this under our fingertips using the same process. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and trip, let triple, let trip, let trip, let trip, let triple, let trip, let long, short, triple, let long, short, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and trip, let triple, let. Just like that. By the way, you can practice all this at the end of this video over the blues backing track. Now, if it's too fast, you can always slow it down. But that's an example of how you can practice moving up and down the scale. Okay, now for the fun part. We're going to work on improvisation using both swing and triplets over the Form 1A minor pentatonic scale. Improvisation allows you to use your own creativity in creating melodies. I am going to restrict you to the Form 1A minor pentatonic scale, the swing, and the triplet. So no string bending, no finger tapping, and I don't want you going off into other forms. If you're already doing that, then you don't need to watch this video. You're already experienced. So that's what we're going to do. You don't have to play up and down the scale as we did a while ago. That's kind of boring. So just kind of play around with the notes any way you want. Just maintain those rhythms. And if you want to pause for a few counts between notes and just hold a note out or just use silence, you're welcome to do that. So I'm going to give you some ideas. Yes, I am restricted, but I think I can come up with some pretty cool stuff within these restraints. So I'm going to fire up the backing track, and hopefully you can gain some ideas. I'm using all the tools that you already know how to employ. So you can copy some of these ideas if it helps you along. But I want you to be creative and create your own melodies over this backing track. All right, I'll give a 4 count and begin. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and triplet trip. Triplet trip. Long, short, long. Triplet long. Triplet, 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 trip. Short triplet, 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 long, short, long. Triplet long, long, short, triplet long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short, triplet long, short, long, short, long, short, long, short. And so on. Excellent work, and I've supplied the same backing track at the end of this video so you can home in on those rhythmic skills. And once you've mastered that, be sure to click the like button. I'm waiting for 25 of you to master this level so that we can move on to the third video. Thanks for participating, and I'll see you there soon.